This variable speed 8-year-old furnace having rollout switch issues, and I'm guessing I did the heat loss, so we do need an 80,000 BTU furnace, but something's going on, I'm guessing, with the heat exchanger. Flames blew a hole right in this guy here. We had flames shooting out of here. Melted the igniter wire. So we're going to increase the filter from that 16 by 25 to a 20 by 25. We're going to raise it up and put a base underneath it. There's our new boot. Got to cut off this plenum because we got the same size furnace going in, and we need 4 inches more in our height. So I'm hacking off this plenum right now. As soon as we get that coil lifted up and hung properly so it doesn't fall, we will get the new furnace in here. It's out of here. I'll show you in a later video, but that stainless steel heat exchanger on that furnace was a bad design. It was split open on the top of every one of these seams. Don't know why. Not enough airflow, hopefully, is why. But the coil looks good here. So obviously, though, that furnace has a radiator for a secondary, so that's where the dirt's going to get stuck if it got ran without a filter at any point. I did have one that clearly the homeowner ran it without a filter. I believe it was the same furnace. I think I've had 2 of those cracked over the last 10 years, but directly related to either homeowner not having a filter in there and we got dirt in there and it overheated and cracked that way. The other one was my fault. It was just like this. That was when I decided that every furnace over 60,000, and even smaller furnaces where the homeowner wants a 4-inch filter, putting a base underneath it with a 20 by 25 filter. And that's probably going to play true for all brands. The limit faults we're seeing in today's world with these newer furnaces is just crazy. So airflow is the key. Even if your ductwork's undersized, just putting in a bigger filter is going to solve most of your limit fault issues. And 1-inch filter, if I can talk you into it every time, rather than a 4-inch filter, which is just more restrictive. Even though it's got more filtering area, this is the filter you want right here. The 1-inch fiberglass. Yeah, you can see the light through that baby. Just put it back in there and run it.
How's that look?
Looks good. Yeah. Sheet metal's done.
Can I get a marker, please?
Corey's mounting the electric. And I should have cut a little more off of this. Canvas is smashed tight. That one's perfect. Got our fan speed set for the 2.5 ton air. Sheet metal's all sealed up. Got here a little tape on that.
Huh?
Tape.
On what? Oh, that, yeah.
Screw that fresh air back down. Drop that venting right where it was. Throw our intake back on. I'm going to get my parts bag going here. And
We'll be done here in an hour.
job done by noon.
What time is it right now?
Check this furnace out. The inducer just came on, so we're gonna set this. This is an 80,000 furnace. The heat loss came in at about 70, I believe, on this one. So we're gonna dial this down to 3.2, anywhere between 3.2 and 3.5. The lower you have the gas pressure set, manifold pressure, meaning the pressure going to the burners, the lower the CO in the fluid's going to be, and that's what we're shooting for. Perfect combustion is 0 parts per million of CO in the flue. You're never going to achieve that. So right out of the box, we're like 3.8 3.7. Dial that down to 3.3, Corey. There's our adjustment screws that go ahead. Yep, right in there. Alright, so we're going to leave that there. Now this particular model, you're supposed to be able to pull this guy off of here without creating a blowtorch. You should be able to pull that off. I only cracked at a quarter turn, so this particular gas valve is shut. It's just a small Allen wrench. Then we got an inlet port. If you want to check your inlet pressure over here. So now we can check our temperature rise. And I got the static probes in there. We're going to go right to static pressure now. Total static should be less than 0.5. Blower compartment we got 0.21, and I know that filter is about 0.2, so this should be 0.4 if our duct work is good. Total static, yeah, 0.4, and that's because I know that filter has got a pressure drop of 0.2. That's how I knew it was going to be 0.4. So that's our total static, which is perfect. So we don't have to monkey around with the fan speed. If it was too high, we could try and drop the fan speed, as long as our temperature rise isn't too high, and that's what Corey's doing over here. We are checking supply temp. What was the return?
65.
65 was the return. So I forgot to look and see what our 30 to 60 or 40 to 70 is normal.
40 to 70 is normal.
Yeah, for an 80%, right? Or is it for
90?
For a 90? Okay. And our combustion analysis, what we have for CO in there? You might want to let that run a little bit longer before you hit that print.
It's not even working right. Look at that. See, it didn't work.
I'll have to do it again.
So we're at 30.
So still going up. Our the law says air-free CO should be less than 400 parts per million. We're at 30. Stuff CO2 should be between 6 and 10, and our stack temp should be about 100. Oxygen should be between 6 and 10. That's good. What's going on with that? Anyway, we're just trying to figure out the printer. Everything looks good as long as our temp rise doesn't get crazy and it's kind of hanging at 110, slowly climbing. What did you say the return was?
65.
65, so 35, 45. Yeah, there's no way we're going to get too hot. But that directly correlates to gas pressure, not so much in my experience. Fan speed for sure, filter, airflow, all that.
Well, I can't get much better than that. We're printing.
Yeah, if it'll print.
It'll print now. Now it's printing all this.
These dampers, homeowners, do not touch your dampers. You know, in the summer, you might want to close the basement. You really don't want to monkey with these. You want as much airflow as possible in the winter. Don't close too many vents, or you might end up with cracked heat exchanger like this job had. Everything went well. All wrapped up. New drain line for the AC. They had a little 1/2 inch on there. We changed that up to a 3/4. Perfect. That heat exchanger separated right there. That's what happens on these. In my experience, the stainless steel was a bad design. They quit making the stainless steel ones. They split like that. But it also, the only time I've seen that was when it was an 80,000 furnace with a 16-inch filter on the side of it. Just not enough airflow. I mean, we just checked one out with a base. It would have been nice to know what the static pressure was with that 16-inch filter on here.
Well, what's static at that job?
0.4.
Wow.
Yeah. We had 0.2 in the blower compartment, and then when I hooked up the other side of it, I called it before it even happened because I know that filter's a 0.2.
Wire was melted too.
Yeah. So, yeah, this furnace, this is before all the kinks were worked out. They quit making. Basically, this is the same as the furnace we put in today.
What did this come off of?
Gas valve.
Over here?
Gas valve.
Oh, okay. Oh, right there.
So there was some updates in the board. This is back before 2012. That was the one I had that did the same exact thing. Same exact furnace, same exact thing. And, oh, I wanted to show you this. So the secondary is like a coil. We saw the coil earlier, which was clean. So a little bit of dirt got by here and plugged up just that little bit of the secondary heat exchanger down here. That is everything I know. So this furnace was manufactured. It's a G9 MVT 0801716. So it was manufactured the 12th week of 2012. Pretty much right after they started making them. A lot of kinks needed to be worked out at that point. This collector box, they started putting brackets around here because they were tightening those too much, and these were cracking in the factory. Something to do with the inducer, or this port here for a while. We were having to drill that out. But everything's been rectified, and this is a fantastic furnace today. The new one is an N95 that took the place of the G9 MVT. Well, no, that's not true. This is a variable speed. The N95 is the single stage version of this, which is the one we put in today. And then you've got the G9, I can't remember the variable speed model number. Don't sell it that often, but if you have zoning, I'm going to be calling out that furnace for you, because I'm going to want you to go 2-stage. This is a 2-stage variable. Anyway, that's what you need to know about this furnace. If you're having rollout scenarios and your serial numbers, 2012 or 13, you could very well have this split secondary, or I mean primary heat exchanger here. Your rollout switch is going to trip if you got that, because you're sucking it. What happens is your inducer is now sucking oxygen into the primary heat exchanger, and the flames were rolling out of here. And because this was a one-pipe system, they were blasting right out into the basement. Hi, baby girl. Where's Mama at? Mama not home? You don't care about me, huh? She can't hear a damn thing. She thought maybe Patty was down here. She's not so excited. Yeah, I'm just going to save that for now because I'm going to pull the blower. That motor's worth $500. Yeah, Lena? Here, you got this.
Yeah.